Hey, brand builders, ready to take your brand to the next level? I'm Dana Ammons, and welcome to the Brand Blueprint. Welcome back to the Brand Blueprint. My name is Dana Ammons, and I am happy to be here with you today. I have a great guest with me, and I am going to introduce him first. We're going to have a great conversation today about serial entrepreneurship. So today's guest is more than a founder. He is a force to be reckoned with. Ivory Price, or as many of his friends know him, Kam, is a longtime friend, serial entrepreneur, and creative visionary, and a proud father of 11 incredible kids. And yes, you heard that right, 11. We'll talk a little bit about that later in the conversation. But first, I want to talk about Kam's just achievements in the entrepreneurship field. I've had the privilege of watching him build, pivot, and scale multiple businesses from the ground up, from social services to streetwear. He's the founder of Hesperia, a rising fashion label and boutique store based in Arizona. He also runs Supreme Water, a convenience store with a twist, and previously held statewide transportation contracts for minors in the court system through his agency. In this episode, we'll dive into how Kam built his empire without traditional business school training, how he stays grounded, and what founders can learn about pivoting with purpose. So, first off, thanks, Kam, for joining me on the Brand Blueprint.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you for having me on there.
No, I have been wanting to get you on for a while. We have a lot of these conversations informally, and it's only a matter of time before I realized we needed to get these conversations on screen and share with our audience. And so before we jump into the formal interview, we have a little section we like to call rapid fire, where we get a couple of questions out that allow our audience to get to know you a little bit better on a personal level. So are you ready to jump in?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, great. All right, now, first classic question we ask everybody, and because I know a little bit about you, I'm going to expand it a little bit and say coffee, energy drink, or something else to power up your daily grind?
Energy drink. Energy drink around 1:30 to like 3 o'clock. I need an energy drink, and I need some Cape Cod barbecue chips. I think them chips are the same ones you used to do. I think those are Crave, y'all. I cannot front.
Yeah, shout out to Crave Chips and Jameer Miller, a brand I used to work with years ago in Arizona.
I think Cape Cod got y'all flavor pack, bro. I swear to God, them have to be the same chips. I can't.
That's classic. So kettle chips and energy drinks. Now, is it time sensitive for you? Do you need to wait until you eat kettle chips and wait later in the afternoon, or will you have any time, morning, noon, evening?
I gotta eat them at the same time. So I usually eat them like around in between 1 and 2 is when I'm usually like tired. Cause I'm up around like I used to be up at 5, but now I'm probably up around like 7 now, which is crazy. So I get about 7 now, and then like I said, I go to work I'm at the gym from 8 o'clock to like 8:30 to around 10, and then I open the store at 10, so I'm there from 10 to 8 o'clock. Yeah. So I'm like
back to back.
Now, yeah, so I've been eating around 1 to 3. That's what
I think you brought up something else that's really important about your regimen, which is your exercise and fitness regimen. And we first met on the Little League football fields in Arizona. Both of our respective kids were playing on the same team. And I remember even back then, you were super, super active in the athletic arena. You were playing basketball, I think on a semi-formal basis, as you guys were competing in tournaments and so forth. So talk a little bit about your exercise regimen and how you stay fit.
I weighed myself yesterday. I was like 238. I'm like fat now, but I'm trying to like, I be going to keto sometimes, trying to keep the weight down and stuff like that. But yeah, I just try to like work out every day because I'm like constantly every day is stressful. Like every day is some new stress. It's like you said, 11 kids. My daughter about to graduate college. My son about to graduate high school. My daughter is 11. She thinks she's grown. So it's a whole bunch of my son. I got grandbabies now, 2 grandkids. So just on the personal side, you need that like a little bit of, you need that like that time just pretty much just exactly by yourself with your headphones on, and then just like, making something like competitive. I feel like, because not everything is, you need like, especially if you play sports, like when you're younger, like you need that kind of competitive drive still going, or you just don't. I thought you don't really care,
And you are an ultra competitive person. I think you're probably playing that down a little bit for people who know him well, who have been in gyms and listened to him yell at the referees while his kids are playing. You should know this is a very competitive person. And so that leads actually to my next question. One sport one particular fitness activity that you know could choose out of all the different things that you love to do, what would that one activity be if you couldn't do
Uh,
anything else?
it's wild that I'm not gonna say basketball, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because like that used to be my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like more
Your
like I
first
love
love.
my first love, man. I love basketball so much, but now like what basketball become now, I pretty much hate it now. But I would say like I would just say like the gym, just being in the gym, like you know what I'm saying. Regardless if I'm like, because who watches this and sees me in the gym, they know that I'm not like working hella hard. I'm
Right,
just in there
right.
like I'm in there for community. I'm in there for like
Yeah,
you
for
know
the stress
like
relief.
yeah, there you go. I'm in there for
Yep.
like for that and yoga. Like I mean, when I was doing high yoga and stuff like that, and I did that during the pandemic a lot, and that really helped me get through like
Really? That's
you
good.
know,
That's
that.
actually a great I think a lot of black men are now finding yoga in various ways. I know I still need to take the journey. I am probably been one of the more reluctant people because I have always felt like I'm probably the most inflexible dude in the world. And so yoga to me
No, that's
feels
me.
like torture.
Yeah,
It looks
yeah.
like torture. I'm like, why would I just want to torture myself? Like just sit there and fold myself in a pretzel.
Yeah, I mean that's like super duper like advanced. You know, you just go in there just get the like you. I put like this like even when I be arguing with the refs, you know what I'm saying? Like I just not because I don't feel the competition with me and like another player. You know, I never
Yeah,
really felt like that for a long time. So even when I was like you know like older when I was playing
yeah,
basketball, I felt like the person in front of me wasn't really comp. You know what I'm saying? Even when he
yeah.
might have been a good player, he really wasn't comp to me. You know what I'm saying? So like the ref was more of a comp to me. Like he's like a 30 figure, and
The ref was
I'm
a true barrier.
yeah, you know, what I'm saying? Like I would kill this dude all day, but you keep calling fouls and then all letting them touch me, hold me, and not calling fouls. So that kind of how it was. So I think like yoga, especially high yoga is like competitive to me because like me versus me. It puts you in a
Yeah.
position of like, and then she tells you to do this, and it's like there's a bunch of you know these like old 100-year-old women in there doing it. You're like, oh hell, I can't keep my leg on my knee. Nah, so you kind of put it, you know, like you versus you, you know, and
Yeah,
I feel
yeah,
more competitiveness of that. Me trying to like I can do it. My mind is telling me I can do it. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But
yeah.
my body's like, no, we can't. But the more you go and the more you dedicate it, like you know, mind like I'm gonna hold this one, hold this pose, and you do it, and then it's like you know,
You
kind of self
accomplished
gratification.
something, right?
Yeah,
It
exactly.
be
It's like an everyday challenge, you know, and you're sweating, so it's only an hour. Thank God.
hey, exactly.
Yeah, thank God.
No, look, shout out to all the people who enjoy yoga.
Right.
Definitely love that recommendation. Now, shifting gears a little bit, but we've talked a little bit about the fact that you are a serial entrepreneur. You've always kind of had a hustle. I got a question for you. What was the
Mhm.
first hustle you ever had?
Damn. The first one. I don't know. Like I wasn't like the kid who sold chips at the school and nothing like that. So I think
Yeah.
I would say my first hustle would probably be like, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, I sold t-shirts. Like originally I sold t-shirts.
Yep.
That was a thing we
That was the
did back
first
in.
hustle.
That was like my first one. Yeah, I would say that. And that was like I never lost at anything. So to me, that was like it just like, you know, what they call that when you proof of concept, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Yep. You got
It
proof of
always felt
concept.
that. Yeah, it was like a proof of concept, like, damn, I guess I can't lose at this, you know what I'm saying? So even though my boy fronted me the money, fronted the money in front of the t-shirt, so I didn't have to have like that part.
Yep.
But I mean, this was like this was like '02, '01,
Wow.
'02. And we
So
were
over
selling
20 years ago, almost
yeah,
full circle, right? You
yeah,
started with t-shirts. Now you've come all the way back full circle into
yeah.
fashion again.
Be a whole There about to be a whole line now. Yeah, it's crazy. And when the shirts we were selling was like doing like Dipset was popping during that time. So
Yeah.
they had like Coke for cheap. They used to say
Yep.
that and they were saying
Yep.
like Coke for sale. And we were
Yep.
saying like so we put like Coke for sale.
Yep. I
I love
remember those
Coke.
shirts.
Yeah, we were doing
Yep.
some crazy t-shirts. But it's funny, I was telling my son, I was like, man, we were selling $50 t-shirts in 2000 and selling them
Right?
though.
Way before time and selling them.
Think
Yep.
think about it. Think
Yep.
about white tees were what everybody had. They were like $3,
Yep.
$5. You know what I'm saying? Pro clubs. You know, $10. You know, maybe. You know what I'm saying? But a $50 T-shirt in 2002
Was unheard of.
is
It was
unheard
unheard
of.
of.
You know what I'm
It was
saying? And we
unheard
were
of.
selling like a lot. We were selling probably like 20 a week. You know what I'm saying? Which is good for us.
Yeah.
You know,
Which
without
is
no
really good.
out the
Now,
trunk, no brick and mortar. Just you know, I had to do one time with a Snoop Dogg concert, and dude bought my T-shirt off my back for like $80, I think it
What
was.
did you do? That was the only one you had? You were just there attending, or were you
I
there
was just there.
selling
I
shirts?
was there attending it. Like, we
Yeah.
had pictures in the car, but I
Yeah.
would just come there to see the thing. My boy got the tickets for us. So we met up there, we kicking it, and there was like this big old fat Mexican dude. He's like, "Yo, I like that shirt, I like that shirt." I think I said I had it was the Coke for sale. I had Coke for sale shirt on, and he saw it. He was like, I mean, this is like Yeezy. I mean,
Yeah.
Jeezy days. You know what I'm saying? Jeezy day. So everybody was like, into that, whatever. And he
Yep.
saw that. He was like, "Man, I'll buy that off you right now." I had like a 3XL. He was a big fat dude.
Yeah,
And he
that's
gave me
classic.
like
Like you
$80
said,
for it
proof
right
of
there. Yeah,
concept.
you know what I'm saying? So
Proof of concept. So now shifting gears a little bit, you that was the first hustle.
that was
Tell
the
me,
first.
what's the one business you'd love to start, but you haven't yet?
Man, it's gonna sound like it's just like totally
This is
left
why I
field.
have you on the show, because I
Yeah.
love where you go with this.
I like to do like a super PAC. I would like to do a super PAC. I like to do something political. I like to raise money
Wow.
for for causes that I feel that just aren't mainly like
I love this. Hey, you guys heard it first. Cam for President 2029. My man is starting the first super PAC for the people, by the people. No, I really am
right.
interested in and want to take this a little bit further, because I think it's really cool in the evolution of somebody like yourself, who's a serial entrepreneur, always out in the community, engaging with people in all walks of life, especially, and we'll talk a little bit about your social services background, but you do have a social impact side to your hustle. So tell me
Wait,
a
you
little
gotta
bit, like,
repeat
what
that.
interests you in starting a pack?
Oh, okay. Well, what made me want to start the pack was just because, like, okay, so like, there's a lot of stuff that I feel like, and obviously that we all feel like the world
Yeah,
needs change. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Certain things. So like certain things that just get on my nerves. I hate the fact, like, going back to the competitive thing. Hate to feel like the average person is getting beat like all the time. Like we're not even competing. We're just like we're voting these same people on with these same. It's like I don't know, just like, and I'm just not to get too political, but like when I see like what's going on now, how someone could
mhm,
just the president has the power to pen, and they can just make any decision that they pretty much want to. I'm
mhm.
not even against that. I'm just saying like we had presidents that we voted in and they did not do that. So I'm like,
Yep,
why didn't y'all do that?
yep.
If you knew that you could do this
Did not
to
use this
vote,
executive power like
yeah,
Trump's using it. Yep.
it makes absolutely no sense to me. So it's like, like, and then like on that side, they'll say stuff like, and actually I'm not on no side, to take truth now. I'm like
Mhm,
completely in
mhm.
the middle. So
I agree.
like, you know what I'm saying? So like on
Or I
that
would
side,
say I'm without representation. Like, I don't even
exactly.
know if I'm in the middle, more so than I
Yeah.
lack
Yeah.
proper
I'm just like,
representation.
I believe in this. That's all. I know what I
Yep,
believe in. It's just like
yep,
I know, like now that I know that you can like really like you can say stuff like, okay, I'm gonna change this, and this, and this, and it just changes overnight. Like, and then you
mhm,
fire people, you do all this reckless stuff to people, and people just take it, and it's like people who like you vote for, and it's like it's just kind of crazy to me. But anyway, I would like to do a super PAC because I would like to raise money. Like I said, like I feel like our community, whatever, is like so
mhm,
behind on everything. And I feel
mhm.
like everyone has like a complaint about something, but they don't know how to do nothing. And so they just kind of be like, well, we're just like I said, we're defeated. But
Yep,
I'm more like, well, just give me the money, man, and I'll go
yep,
and I'll fight it. I'll get some lawyers and we'll get people to fight it because in your name, because everything that's being done in your name right now, you know
yep,
what I'm saying? I doubt you really are for that. You know what I'm saying? I doubt, and then we saw when we vote somebody in there who you supposedly align with their, their beliefs and stuff like that, they don't do nothing. You're like, dog,
right,
like you did
right.
this, and so I don't know. So
No, I think it's a
that's
great point.
that's
I mean, you make one, like, I think to your point, a lot of people are talking. Not a lot of people
my
have come up with a good plan or even a
right,
substantive way forward. Everybody's kind of just complaining, and I get it, right? I'm complaining on the
right,
side too at times, but
yeah,
like you, I'm really more about action and like, what can I
right,
do in my individual and everyday life to make things, at least
yeah,
better for those, around me and mine, so to speak, because I
yeah,
think that's kind of what this mentality in this current, state of affairs in the country has driven us to, is this tribal mentality where we're all tribing up
yeah,
now, right? It's like you got to take care of your tribe. And so it
yeah.
is what it
But people,
is.
but people even make that to such a singular part. It's like, okay, like, yeah, you do need to take care of your tribe, which is your house, your home, and stuff like that, which is great. But there's there's a greater collective. Like the collective needs to, like I said, I
Yep.
was in mental health, physical
Yep.
health for 20 something years, trying to tell our people and I'm not going to say black or white, I'm just talking about even poor people in general, blacks, Hispanics, all that stuff like that. Trying to tell our people to go get help is just crazy. You know what I'm
It
saying?
is.
It's like, you know, like, I don't know. It
It
just
is.
it's so like deflating sometimes to be like, yo, like okay, you saw your friend get killed. Like you didn't have a father.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? You have a speech impediment. Like you didn't eat breakfast in the morning. You know what I'm saying? When you was in school, like you was a label at risk youth your whole life. So like all these little things that people like, and then like you know you get older, you smoke weed every day. It's like it's just like it's a whole thing,
Yep.
you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And
It
then
was
you
a
see like
process.
and then you see a kid who has like some money or something like that, and then like I go to Lifetime Fitness, right? $300 a month to just use the
Mhm.
damn gym, which is crazy.
Mhm.
But I'll be in the locker room and then white dudes be like, "Yeah, man, like man, my therapist was telling me," and like, like that's the reason why like success and like stability and stuff like that is in certain people's lives because
Mhm.
they get help and they're talking to people constantly that's always trying to help them through something, you know? Like I can't call
Mhm.
you all the time if I'm going through something, you know what I'm saying? Just because I just don't want to hear your, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
you
Yep.
mean you
Your
just
point of view. Yep.
yeah, we
It's just
need
being in
more
an
than that.
echo chamber.
Yeah,
Yep.
you have this random person who does not know you like that, and they just pretty much giving you like options and just talking you through certain things or just being a ear. It's like helps you a lot, but
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like I said, once you get past those boundaries and those clouds of like smoke and all this distraction, then maybe you could like understand like okay, Cam needs $1 billion to get term limits on the Supreme Court, or we need this
Mhm.
money to
Mhm.
like, you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
to keep old people out of these executive positions where they're making choices on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
like,
Yep.
you
On
know, like
on young folks matters, right? Or you
yeah,
got, oligarchs making decisions on poor folk matters, right? With
you know
with
what I'm
Tesla,
saying? And like you have
and
no
Musk up top.
back what you said, there's no representation. You have no
Yep.
representation. Like there's not a single poor person that's in any of those positions. There's not
In
a
those
single person that has
positions.
been poor
Yep.
up there that
Yep.
can say, you know what, like when someone says, you know, the everyday family now is going to face $3,500 of thing, and
Additional tariffs. Yep.
I'm like, what family are they talking about? I
Right.
don't think you're talking about my
Right.
auntie that lives in Hesperia right
No.
now, that works at
No.
a warehouse. You know, I
No.
know you're not talking about her
No.
because I feel like her stuff is gonna be way higher than that. You know what I'm saying?
Seven, $10,000 more, and because we're gonna
Yeah,
catch it, right? It's almost like what they ever say: if America catches the cold,
yeah.
poor folks, we catch the flu, right?
Flu.
like that's
COVID
not
now.
what it's going to be. Yeah, we're about to
Yeah,
catch a COVID again off of this.
yeah.
So now,
So
lighter note, I want to make sure we get into the core of the interview, but I want to end on one important question for me and for those of the people who know you and know you well. Now, for those who don't, Cam is a prolific collector and tastemaker in the sneaker and fashion game, and so I've got one special question for you. Favorite
uh,
sneaker of all time?
all time. Jordan 1, that's number one. I can't really pick like the exact one. I would say like I
Yeah,
like the Travis Scott. I like but Jordan 1 is definitely my favorite shoe. Jordan
favorite
Jordan
shoe.
1, Jordan 3, Jordan 3 is up there too. But
Jordan
Jordan
3 is
1
one
is
of
just
mine
that
too.
silhouette is just perfect
Yeah,
because you go high, low.
yeah,
I would say the Union ones are probably like
yeah.
my grails. I
Like
haven't
of
gotten
all
the
time, your holy grail of all time?
yeah, those are like $2,500, $4,000. I haven't spent that much money yet on no shoe yet, but I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'll sell a bunch of shoes and the random ones I got in the house, and I got like over like 1,200 pair of shoes. So
So,
I'll
Brand
probably
Blueprint followers and guests, just know at some point I will have a special episode and hopefully Cam will let us walk through his archive. It's been a while since I've been in it, but I know there's thousands and thousands of shoes. His Kobe collection is unheralded. So, for those of you who are Kobe fans, you'll want to tune in for that special episode. We'll make sure we figure out a way to get that booked, especially now as a quick part of the special announcements. When this episode airs, I will already be there. But as part of this conversation, I am actually relocating back to the Phoenix metropolitan area and will be back in the passenger seat of my buddy's ride very soon. So you'll see me riding shotgun around Phoenix. Look for us in some of those special episodes coming your way. So let's get into the core interview. Are you ready to jump in?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, great. So listen, let's start from the beginning. Most folks know you from your streetwear brand, Hesperia. But Your entrepreneurial journey actually started in social services. So I want you to take us back and tell us how you got into the group home and youth transportation space, and then how that grew into a statewide contract.
It was actually before that. It started,
Yeah.
Direct Connect Ventures started as Direct Connect Sports. So, like I said, I was selling t-shirts. So then once I
Yeah.
stopped selling, I was still selling t-shirts at the same time, but I worked at like treatment centers and stuff like that. So I worked at like these bunch of different treatment centers and group homes. So then when I got what I do, I was so like I was moonlighting, I guess you could say, as like doing like a little bit. Not I was never a trainer or anything like that. I like to plan the events. So I ended up going down to Gila River. Shout out to Gila River. Going to the Parks and Rec department, and I ended up working with them for I worked with them for probably like 6 months, and then I ended up getting a summer program with them. So I had 3 weeks with them. They paid me like $8,000. They paid me like $12,000 total. So like they gave me like six, and then my friend who was like he was the vice president of like the Gila River displays, who when you drive down the freeway, all the big signs over there. He ended up giving me like $8,000. So he gave me like $8,000. So I think it was like $14,000 total. And so we did a 1 week basketball tournament. They contracted me for 3 weeks. It was a 1 week basketball tournament, 1 week football, and we did 1 week of soccer.
Oh wow! And, so 3 tournaments. Was this all youth focused? So this was high school students or young?
We had about 60 kids out there. So we did football, and this is July. So we did
July in Phoenix. For those of you who've never been, is not a necessarily normal time to be playing football outside.
It was like 115, but they loved it. You know what I'm saying? So we did that. We did football, basketball, and soccer. And I had got my boy Malcolm helped me with the football. Who helped me with basketball? I did basketball. I think somebody else helped me with basketball. And then I had somebody I had this guy who used to coach for like the women's like pro team in Phoenix, and he actually did the soccer. So that was my first thing. I was like, wait, I can make money. I can make, I went to Atlanta like the next like week, with that money, didn't pay rent or anything anyway. But I ended up, but I knew I could make money off that. I was like, so it makes no sense. And then I ended up coming back, and then I worked at those treatment places that my kid's mom worked at. She was like the admin for a provider, like a surgery center, in addition to being like a head person at like the provider part. So she knew how to do like the back office part, contracting, paperwork, all that kind of stuff. I knew how to actually run the house and do all that kind of stuff. Get a license like that. So we came together and we did that. So we did the house for so we ran it for about 6 years. Okay. And then we split business wise, stuff like that. So she did her own thing, I did my own thing after that. Oh yeah, we did.
Now that's 6 years. That was one group home that entire time that you guys operated together.
One group home. Yep. We did really well with that. That was like the first little bit of money and like success I really had, as far as I guess in that space, because it was really kind of it was like, I worked at the prison like a little bit before that, and it just wasn't, making $60,000. It was definitely cool for me, you know what I'm saying? But
it wasn't fulfilling.
No. And like that was, like getting later on, like that was the main reason why we even got into it at all. It wasn't for the money at all. It was mostly to be like independent, and then to do our own stuff and raise the kids like that. But then also to provide like a safe space for children. That's what it's always been about. Like that's the main reason why I still think about doing anything in the social in that arena.
Eloise, can you bring that back one more time? We need to hear that again.
To provide like a safe space for children. That's what it's always been about. Like that's the main reason why I still think about doing anything in the social in that arena. Just because, like, quick story, like my mom, like when my mother had me, my mother worked at a boys home. She worked at a Leroy's boys home. You know what I'm saying? So I was probably like little, you know what I'm saying, in Pomona, and like, she used to take me to work. So it's like,
so you got exposed, realize what was going on in those places.
So I'm talking about like a couple months, months old. So I'm in the boys group home, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Being,
with your mom,
Yeah, with my mom, you know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like, I guess I would just like somehow
Oh,
probably
is that a
destiny.
soft spot in your heart
Yeah, you know
for that
what I'm saying?
environment?
My mom raised me like we used to go like I think I was like 9, 10. Yeah, before we moved to Tucson, I used to work in the summer. I volunteer at the convalescent homes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I've always been like in
Yeah,
like the
shout out to
social.
Mama Price, who is a matriarch in her own right. Can't wait to see her in a couple of weeks. But for those of you watching again, there's behind every strong black man, there's a strong black woman somewhere lurking, and Mama's definitely the one in this particular family and story. So that's actually a pretty crazy connection because you got exposed early in life to an environment that most of us, frankly, don't experience unless we actually go there in some capacity, right? Are put
Yeah.
into a home or find ourselves in that situation. Talk about, man, what is it like serving court involved minors and building trust with that particular segment? Because I remember when we first started hanging out, you still were heavily involved in the group home space. And some of the stories they used to tell me, which has some humorous angles to them, right?
Yeah.
But it just really made me realize just how challenging it must be to work in an environment like that with these kids who just don't frankly have trust for anybody in the system.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Like I had a kid, one of the crazier that this kid, he he I never like I said, I've been, I got kid moms and all kind of crazy stuff.
Mhm.
So I've been cussed out before, obviously, but like I never been cussed out like this little boy. He was about like 8 years old, he cussed me out. But like I never really read the kids like their files, because I
Yeah.
kind of want to judge them on how they
Yeah.
act with me.
Mhm.
So he kept sleeping under the bunk beds. Like every night, I'm like, yo, yeah,
On the
get up under
floor.
the bunk bed. So I kept getting him up, waking him up, getting him out, getting him out. So then I think one night, I guess he just wasn't having it. So I woke him up. I was like, hey man, come up out the bunk bed. And he's like, you punk mother boo. I mean, he was putting cuss words together. I never heard like him. I was like, oh, you can put that word. Oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna
And
use
he
that.
was 8.
Like 8 years old, like straight
Oh
up
my
went
God.
off. Like he was cussing for like 2-3 minutes, like just nonstop. Like, I was like, I was sitting there like, hey man, I don't know what's. So anyway, I ended up reading his book or whatever, his file. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah, and he had been living under lived under the freeway in Los Angeles for all his life. You know what I'm saying? He
Oh
never
my God.
slept in a bed before. He
Wow.
never did that before. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And that's one of the first times I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe I probably should read some like some of these
Yeah.
kids' traumas and stuff like that. And yeah, it's definitely like the stories that I mean, I guess people kind of make like there are some terrible like things that happen to these kids, you know what I'm saying? So like you can't take what they are dishing to you as like personal. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? They can say
Right.
the N-word, they're gonna say
Right.
everything, but
But
they've
they've
been
dealt
my
with so
life.
much trauma, right? Like
Yeah,
they are
they
just really outlasting back
I
at the
think
world.
about
Yep.
I think about 80% of that is just like defensive. You know what I'm saying? To like
Mhm.
get you
Mhm.
up off of me. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, yo, I
Mhm.
need you to do whatever. Hey man, like
Mhm.
I don't even know you. You trying to tell me
Mhm.
to clean up this room? Like
Mhm.
you putting rules around me? Like
Mhm.
I slept under a overpass, bro. Like
Yep.
I
I had to
never had a
defend myself, right? This was
right.
probably the demeanor I had to have in order to stay
Yep.
relatively safe in the streets.
Yeah. And then I didn't really build like a rapport with him anyway. So he only
Yeah.
saw me at night. I'm an overnight guy. So he don't know, and I don't know who worked before me. I don't know what somebody might, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't
Yeah.
know nothing. So how they treat him before, he might think I'm just like everybody else that was there before, who I don't have no compassion or empathy or sympathy.
Mhm.
So it was like like when our home was for girls too for a long time. So I'm like the first male, then I'm a black male that I'm
They've
6'2",
ever
200
interacted with.
pounds. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, they never dealt with. So they're like, or one that really just like genuinely cares for them. So
Mhm.
it was also like, I treated all those kids like they're my own kids. So as far as protecting them and making sure that they understood that like I was there to help them, I think they all understood that. I know they all understood that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But I also like kept boundaries. You know what I'm saying? That was like very, very important. You got to set
Yeah.
boundaries. Now let them know that like I love you like a human being. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And I'm gonna
Mhm.
treat you like with the same respect I would treat my own kids and love
Right.
like I
I'm
would.
still the position of authority in the house, and so you still have
Exactly,
to
yeah.
respect
But,
me as such. Yeah.
I'm also not your parent. I'm also not. I'm
Yep.
also in like I said, authority figure,
Yep.
and it needs to be respected. And like if you do what you're supposed to do, which is, whatever your goal is, when you help you get to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then like I had girls that came there. I had one girl. She came there. She was messed around with her brother, and her mom chose to keep the brother in the house and not her. You know what I'm saying? So like that dynamic. And then the mom, we
Mhm.
have meetings, and the mom is like, well, you guys supposed to. I'm like, I'm supposed to, like, that's your
You're the
kid.
parent, right?
Like,
You're the
you
parent,
made a terrible decision on
right.
picking who to have me out. But even then, like, you got to really, like, like, I'm not a therapist, but you got to be the damn therapist. I got to take
Mhm,
them to. I don't know if
mhm,
you've ever been to a psychologist.
mhm,
Psychologists gonna meet with them for
mhm.
5 minutes and then talk to me for 45 minutes. Like, so, like, I
It's
gotta
a lot.
convey all the needs and stuff like that from the child. But it was like in the beginning it was good. I'll tell you, I was so, like, it was a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And that
anytime you
journey,
get.
I mean, it clearly laid the foundation. And then at some point you pivoted. Now, I know again, being a serial entrepreneur, you were
Mm,
trying things out along the way as your business and the social services side grew. Talk a little bit
mhm,
about some of the other businesses you dabbled
mm.
in, some of the other things you considered, and then how you eventually made that first pivot out of social services.
Yeah. What I tried, I did trucking. We did a
Hmm.
car wash.
Hmm.
Car wash was cool. You know what I'm saying? It just was in a bad area. It was like a not area like
Location.
yeah, bad location. A
Yep.
very, very bad
Yep.
location. But it was a cash business, and I always like
Yep.
cash business. So it was like cash business. So it never lost money until, like, I didn't want to do it no more. So you
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? But it was cool. Like, I don't do it no more. And that's how I am as, like, a serial entrepreneur. I'm, like,
Yep.
really, like, I like to build, 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 build. Once it becomes a job, i.e., what I'm doing now,
Yep.
it
Then
kind of
you're
gets
ready
on my
to
nerves.
transition
Yeah,
to
I
something else.
want to leave.
Yep.
But the difference with the fashion part, I'll just jump in that real quick. The difference with the fashion part that I feel with the other ones is so many different parts in it. It's so many, like,
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
more than just, like, the store part. It's an
It
online
stays
store.
fresh for you, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's
Like,
like,
it's constantly keeping you
yes,
interested because there's new
yes.
angles to it and new things to learn.
The fashion is changing. These kids
Yeah,
is changing, and they
yeah,
they want this and this and that. The ads change. The
yeah,
algorithm changes. Like, the demographic of stuff changes. Like, where, like, is New York still the hottest place, or is it Atlanta
yeah,
now? Like, you gotta look for those, and LA is still always lurking. So
yeah,
you're also looking for different cultures. Going to Europe and
yeah,
finding, like, South Korea is the one that
yeah,
set stuff way before. Like, what they doing now will probably be in style in 2 years. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you're gonna kind of, like, keep all that. And then I'm older, so I gotta listen to what my little young dudes is telling me. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I also gotta
yeah,
listen to, like, a person like you, because you want to
yeah,
buy a Hesperia shirt. You don't want all
yeah,
that Jesus and God stuff that they
yeah,
be doing, and all them crazy graphics. You just, like, might want to Hesperia on there with some, or might just like a little
mhm.
tumbleweed. So you got to take in all that. With those other businesses I did, like, the trucking, I was one I really, really enjoyed. I really liked that because it was like all I did was say yes to the load, and then I got my check, and it
And
was
tell a little
easy.
bit because we have some entrepreneurs on the podcast who will watch this and wonder to themselves, like, am I in the right business? Should I
Yeah,
pivot? First, I want you to talk a little bit about, the decision of pivoting. Like, when you, because obviously part of it for you is an equation is I'm not really interested anymore. It's just not motivating me. But then
yeah,
talk, about some other things, that you kind of considered
mm,
as you pivoted. And then
yeah,
specifically for the trucking business, which I think is one that I have heard repetitively over, let's say, the last 10 years from
yeah,
those who are looking for different, opportunities out of
yeah,
corporate or opportunities out of their current
mhm,
job. And trucking has always been presented as a
yeah,
really good exit strategy. But I think most people assume, oh, I got to go get the CDL, I got to drive, I got to do it, and I just can't do it. You did a different model. Talk a little bit about
yeah.
that.
So I would, like, like, we just kind of, like, because I had my uncle. My uncle, he was a truck driver. So
Yep.
all I do is buy the truck, which is, like, crazy. Like,
So you had a
saying,
family
like, oh,
member
let me buy
that
a
was
$100 truck.
already had the CDL, and I think that's a
Yeah,
good
yeah,
point to point out. Is a
yeah.
lot
He
of us
already had
don't
CD
think about that.
Man, so he already had a CDL, and then my family in California, they own trucking companies, stuff like that already. So, what my main goal was to just, how much, like, if I spent X amount of dollars. I'm all about
Mhm,
the margin. So it's like,
mhm,
if I spend X amount of dollars, and then I have a driver, you know what I'm saying? Like, the lows are pretty much plentiful. So, like,
mhm,
how do you lose? It's like I think about bars sometimes. Like, how does a bar lose when you're
mhm.
buying a bottle of liquor for $25, but at the end of the 16 ounces that you sold for $13, you know what I'm saying? You've made,
Right,
you know what I'm saying? You made a
right,
hundred
three,
something
four
dollars.
hundred dollars off of each bottle.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Off of every
Yep,
bottle. So I'm like, I don't know how you lose, but
yep,
once you get in it, they'll explain to you.
Yep,
You'll
yep.
see
You
why you
realize
look.
quickly, right?
Exactly. Same thing with the trucking. Like you understand, like it's labor cost number one, and
Yeah,
then there's like fuel.
yeah.
So sometimes you gotta like do a load just to get like somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like there might be a
Mhm.
load from like I remember we had like some like Phoenix to Dallas was pretty good loads. We used to get those as flat roads, like easy. We used to get those a lot, and those were good ones. But sometimes like we would get like a load to like Seattle, which we really
Yeah.
wouldn't.
You're going
We would
uphill
try,
basically all the way
yeah,
from Phoenix.
and then you're trying to get back. So then
Yeah. You
like
got to
we're
catch
not
a
in
load to get back, or you got to pay for it to get back.
yeah, the bobtail all the way back. But usually, like, we rarely ever had a bobtail, like, you know what I'm saying, too many times. But
Yeah.
I mean, we get FEMA loads, like those are really good loads. Like we love the
Yeah.
FEMA load because that way you just drive straight through, you can go fast as you want.
Yeah.
So I would say like if people are looking to get into trucking, you have to look at like the rates right now. You want to look at the
Yep.
rates. Like what
Yep.
are the rates? Like what are the lanes? You know what I'm saying? You want to look at like the cost of a truck. Like these trucks, like the thing about a truck is you can get a brand new one or you can get one that's 100 years old. They're gonna break down. It don't
Yeah.
matter. Like I
You're
have
going
my
to have
truck.
maintenance, is what you're
Yeah,
saying. You're going to have maintenance.
I paid 50. I paid $52,000 for a truck.
Yeah.
Right, April 1st. No, June 1st.
Hmm.
June 28th, the one box broke. That cost me 8,000.
Wow. Right off the
Yeah,
bat, you had a
off
repair.
the like one box.
8,000.
That's the death of air,
Yep.
the filtration thing, whatever.
Yep.
Gone. That was the first month. Like we didn't have 30 days,
Wow.
but it was like
Now,
I
are
read
there
them.
creative financing options that help you in those situations in the trucking side of things? Can you, because I know obviously if it's a personal car, you go to Firestone or Goodyear and be like, yo, can I put this on a payment plan? Because I don't have the money for the $1,500 of transmission. Like, what does it look
And
like in trucking? Do you need to have a lot of cash to enter that business?
I'm just, this is my own personal.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
I've never used credit. I never used stuff like that. So I've always
Nice.
used my own cash. I just felt
Nice.
like I've always gambled on my
Yep.
own. I don't
Yep.
gamble. So I feel like if
Yep.
I'm gonna put $50,000 into a truck, no matter what I'm gonna be able to get. I always thought I'm gonna be able to get my money back. Where if I gotta sell it for,
Hmm.
I mean, it should run and make
Hmm.
enough money to where
Hmm.
I sell it.
You can
I
make
feel like
some of the money back
yeah,
off of what you operated it
yeah,
on and then sell it
yeah.
for the balance. Yep.
Exactly. And then like I don't know. I'm like weird because like the the learning too is like worth something to me. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Yep.
learn, even when you lose, like I mean, or I never lost, but when you lose, like or losing sometimes, like you still learning something that's gonna help you with another. Like now that helps me with clothing. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Helps me with that. Now I know not to expend, like overexpend or actually depend on like because truck another thing like truck drivers are like some of the worst people because most of them are like convicts or something like that.
Hmm.
They're not very dependable. So
Hmm.
like when you get one, like okay, like my cousin, he had a driver. The driver left the truck in Alabama because he got like a 10 cent more a mile from another company. Like he literally dropped the load and then left the truck at the truck stop and then
Pilot.
told me,
Yeah.
yeah, told my cousin like, hey, come get it. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like, well, my cousin has a CDL. See,
Right.
me, I don't have a CDL. That truck would have been there for who knows how long.
So
You know
you
what I'm
could have
saying? So,
somebody a license to go pick it up, right?
yeah, you got to pay somebody to do that. You know what I'm saying? And then like I wasn't my only gig, so it'd cost me more time and energy to go out.
Right.
So like though, but even with those little like issues and problems, like I said, if I was full time doing that, it would have been nothing. Like I
It
probably
would've
would have got
been-
a CDL. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
in case some stuff like that happened. But they have um uh financing options, stuff like that.
They
But
do.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, if you have good credit
Yeah.
and stuff like that, I mean, you can go,
Can
try it
go and
that
get a
way.
truck and then
Yeah,
probably
but
get
I mean, you
something
can
where
like,
you got a little less maintenance, maybe.
yeah, I would give you some game. Like the game I would give is go to like an auction, go like to
Hmm.
Ritchie Brothers and
Yep.
get you a truck because get you a truck for $20,000. You know what I'm saying? Cash,
Hmm.
got it.
Hmm.
You always gonna be able to sell that truck for that price. Like it don't
Yep.
matter. You know what I'm saying? At
Yep.
that point, get it checked out, get your mechanic, then get you like an actual mechanic. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
somebody who really works on the truck. So when it comes in, it gets the PMs at the preventive
Yep.
maintenance every time you bring it in, and hope the best. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna spend $50,000 on a truck and it break
Yeah.
down. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like
That's a dead asset, right? At that.
anybody will tell you. Anybody that's drove truck.
Yep.
I mean, they're gonna tell you like that truck gonna break down. So if you got to pay $100 for a truck or $20 for a truck, they both gonna break down. So it like immediately or whenever, just never know. So yeah, I wouldn't even yeah, I would go for the like even if you do like a day cab, with day cab they're even cheaper. You get 12, like $10, $12,000 truck.
Oh,
And that's
wow.
just the one that you just drive like locally, you know what I'm saying? It's
Yep.
just a truck that doesn't have the cab in the back. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? So you just picking up. I would do
Local,
some,
because you're not
yeah.
sleeping in it overnight, any of that.
No. But I mean, that's still like Vegas and Vegas and back. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's still considered local,
Yep.
California and back. So
And it's
yeah,
still
you can
good
do that.
money for those routes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. I've
definitely,
got another
definitely.
friend there in Phoenix, Chucky. Shout out to him, who's a truck driver independent. He does his own thing with his truck, takes short routes.
Yeah.
And prior to that, used to work for the dairy company there in
Yeah.
Phoenix, doing deliveries with the CDL, really Tucson, Phoenix, and back. So
Yeah.
you're right. There's a lot of opportunity in that space. Those of you who are interested, hopefully those
Mhm.
bits of advice helped out. Now, Kim, let's keep going on your serial
Oh,
entrepreneurship,
and
because one of yeah.
real quick. But if you're trying to be like an owner operator who does not operate it,
Yep.
make sure that there's something that you should be the one that's doing the broker. So you should be doing the brokering. So put
Good
that in
point.
there because if
Good point.
you hire someone to do the brokering, you just like that just more money coming off of like you
Yep.
make
You're just paying more
1,000.
margin, right?
Yeah, you got $1,000 you're gonna give the trucker gonna get five, and then
Hmm.
the truck gonna get two and a half,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Then the broker gonna get tens, you know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
you must around 10%, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Pretty much at the end, and that's not
Yeah.
what you want. But if you do the brokering, you're gonna get like from 30, pretty much got about 30% of like
30% margin on that. And
yeah,
that's pretty
margin for
good.
you. That's gonna be good. $300,
Yep.
and that's just off of each thing. The truck should be
Yep.
running all the time. So
Constantly.
you do you probably don't do 10, but like say you do like I don't know 5 runs and you got
Hmm.
300 times five. You know what I'm saying? You
Hmm.
getting that. You
Hmm.
should be pretty smooth. Until the
Yep.
truck break down and take all the
Yeah. Or
take all
gas
the
goes up significantly,
profit.
right? Some other hit to your margin.
Exactly. But if you like say you get 2 trucks, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It'll take off. But like I said, if you have something else, it's also good. But until you like really, really learn it and grow it, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, if you get the CDL, I mean you're making 80%
And
of
you're
what you
good.
yeah, you good there, you know what I'm saying?
Now,
So
you
I see
mentioned
that.
this earlier too about you have learned and taking different things that you picked up in all these different businesses and
Mm,
been able to take some of these universal learnings across all of your businesses, things that you
mm,
kind of learned, right? Like whether it was in social services or the trucking business or the car wash business. Talk
mm.
about some of those key things that you like kind of swear by now through your
Oh yeah.
entrepreneurship journey, things you've learned at different things like I don't do this. And I love one of the ones you talked about is I don't really try to mess with credit. Why?
Cause I'm just like I said, I'm just like I like the it's like partners. I never like I'm learning this lesson now as I'm getting older. It's like I never wanted partners because I put 100% in, I want 100%
Mhm.
back. Like I want
Mhm.
all the money. Like,
Mhm.
you know, want
Mhm. Mhm.
every single
Mhm.
dollar. And I
Mhm.
just feel like with with other people's money, it feels like I have another person that I have to like answer
Yep.
to. Like they
Yep.
put
You
that
do.
pressure
You have another partner, right?
right.
That's an
Yeah.
investor or the bank.
And I can't learn the lesson because like like you can't learn anything because you're just like you're strictly about the money. I gotta get the money.
Yep.
I gotta pay. It's like having a mortgage.
Yep. Can we hear that again?
It's like I never wanted partners because I put 100% in, I want 100%
Mhm.
back. Like I want
Mhm.
all the money. Like,
Mhm.
want
Mhm. Mhm.
every single
Mhm.
dollar. And I
Mhm.
just feel like with with other people's money, it feels like I have another person that I have to like answer
Yep.
to. Like they
Yep.
put
You
that
do.
pressure.
You have another partner, right?
Right.
That's an
Yeah.
investor or the bank.
And I can't learn the lesson because like like you can't learn anything because you're just like you're strictly about the money. I gotta get the money.
Yep.
I gotta pay. It's like having a mortgage.
Yep.
Like I could move around the world if I want to right now, but I got that mortgage at home. I
Yep.
gotta pay. Like it don't
Yep.
matter. So if I want to do something else, it's like okay, you know what? I'm not really feeling this trucking thing no more.
Yep.
We got an
Yep.
$80,000 truck out there that needs his payment. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So I didn't like that, but that's one of the things. And like the universal type of things that and I know this is gonna make people like laugh, but
Yeah.
like, do not hire family. Do not
Yeah.
hire your family. That's why I learned universally
Wow.
through everything.
And look, you hear this a lot. You clearly have had personal experience with it. And I know the family. So this is all kind of conversation and talk in the family. But just
All right.
give a couple of reasons why. Because I think this is really an important point. And frankly, you are, I think, a good representative for this conversation because not only do you have your personal family,
Mm.
obviously with 11 kids, is big, but you come from a big family. And so
Right,
talk a
right.
little
Yeah.
bit about like what's that pressures like hiring family and managing
It-
it?
the main, and it's not because of like even their like it doesn't even necessarily even have a lot to even do with the performance necessarily all the time.
Mhm, mhm,
It's just the entitlement part. It's just
mhm,
like
mhm.
it's like it's kind of like I had somebody work for me, right? And then they were like, because they knew me personally, and it's not in my family, but they knew me personally. They were like asking me questions about like the finances of the company and stuff like, oh, this and this and this. And then they kind of like, they were asking other people around, like, da, da, da. So then I kind of had to explain to them, like, when you work at McDonald's, like, do you
Right,
ever, like, do you go talk to Ronald?
right, right,
And you go
right.
tell
Do you
Ronald, hey,
ask
man,
for the P&L?
yeah, hey, Ron, I don't like the way y'all frying these
I need to see
fries.
the cap table.
As long as John Silver had been here, like like no, you don't do that. So he was like, I was like, it's just disrespectful for like you to come and
Yeah. There's
question something.
boundaries, right? That
Yeah, when,
there's less boundaries than and also talk about a little bit about this because you've done both, which I think is interesting. You've hired family members from either a lateral standpoint, cousins, et cetera, but you've also hired kids, right? And I
yeah,
think people struggle like with that one too,
that's
right?
the that's the
Hiring your
worst.
kids.
That's the worst.
So let's talk a little bit about that.
With kids, with kids is like I think, and with kids is like the nepotism part, like
Yeah,
it sends to the whole entire organization. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because like first off, like you're black, you know what I'm saying? You're a black man. The legitimacy question is always there. No matter
Hmm.
what. You
Hmm.
hire you
Hmm.
hire random people outside of like your circle, your community. I hire therapists, I hire
Yeah,
doctors, I hire
yeah.
all these people. And then like my daughter will go there and be like, man, I'm making $30 an hour. And then like the licensed therapist is making like 28. So she looking at it like, wait,
Yeah.
what is that?
What? Yeah.
You know, but it's like, I mean, I don't know. Just like it just then.
Now, what I admire most about your journey is you've done it actually without the traditional MBA or the incubator. And, those are really in vogue ways to entrepreneurship right now. And I think society has kind of made that or publicized that as this is the way you get there. You've done that completely opposite. You didn't go through the MBA program. You didn't go out and work for Techstars or sign up for Y Combinator. So, what advice would you give people like you, ambitious, street smart, resourceful, super talented, and have a unique perspective? Like, how are they? What is your advice for them in terms of not being tapped into the formal entrepreneur system, but being able to figure out a way to go out and start their own businesses?
Okay, so like I didn't graduate high school. I went to a little bit of college, whatever, but um, yeah, I just pretty much like just I'll say what the real motivating thing was. So when I was I was taking the GED classes, right? And when I was in there, they were saying like, high school graduate makes this,
Mhm,
college graduate guys this, you know what I'm saying? And I remember they were saying a high school dropout will never make more than 12.50 an hour.
mhm,
At that time, I
mhm.
think minimum wage like $6,
Yep,
$7.
like $6 or $7. Yep.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, that's it. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. Like, that's all I'm gonna ever be able to make. Like, that's just
Right.
terrible kind of type
Depressing.
shit.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So my mom and I had these kids and stuff like that. So I kind of was like, well, I gotta do something on my own because that's the only way I'm gonna be able to like,
Hmm.
because
To
my
make the
number was
living you want to make. Yep.
right. My number was $100,000. I was like, if I can make $100,000, I'm like, in night
Good.
and
Yep.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? 1997 or 2000,
Yep.
I'm like, that was like great money. So I'm like 100,000. So whatever I had to do, I knew I needed to make 100,000. And like that's when I did the camp and stuff like that. I was like, damn, like I mean, I do the math. I'm like, I did work for like 6 months of trying to get this stuff together. Even with those 3 weeks though, I made $14,000 in 3 weeks. Like
Wow.
I'm like, so you can do this. Like
So you
this
can
can
do it. Yep.
be a thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So um like I said, I would say like if you're just not starting out or you're just like, you don't have you don't check all the boxes that they say, like that doesn't really mean nothing.
Hmm.
And I would say like, don't listen to like, when people tell you like, don't listen to these haters and all stuff like that. No, listen to haters. Listen to everything. Listen to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like I went to college. The only class I ever paid attention to, the only class I still use to this day is critical thinking and reading. Like that's it.
Hmm.
Like if
Hmm.
someone tells me, and then I would say, well, it's two different kind of people tell you like don't do something. It's people like that's hating like Dana, don't move to
Yeah.
Charlotte, like what I'm saying? Because because they're telling you that you like because you can't do it, like you can't be successful out there. You can't. They're telling me like me, I can't. But if I'm telling you, Dana, like, man, I don't know about North Carolina because North
Yep.
Carolina has
This is
yeah, I'm giving you
This.
all the
Yep.
yes, I'm giving you all the
The
cons.
facts. Yep.
I don't
Yep.
give people like the pros because if I tell you, oh, you can make $10 million doing this, they're gonna jump into it. Then when it doesn't happen,
Mm-hmm.
I'm the bad guy.
Then
I
they want to
lied.
listen to the cons.
Yeah, I'm a
Then
liar
they
and
want
all
to
that.
listen to the cons.
Exactly. So I give you all the cons first, and then if
Yep.
you still want to do it, because like I said, like we talked about earlier, like they're not gonna. A lot of people are not gonna execute regardless.
Yep.
You tell them the goods
Yep.
or the positive, they are good and the negative. They're not gonna try to execute it. So I just try to tell them like but I would say listen to everybody. Like don't listen to I don't listen to nobody hating on me. Nah, he might be hating on you, but there's some gems in there. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And then you also
Yep.
kind of learn a little bit about that person. And when you are going to start a business, it goes back to like the personnel and family and shit like that. Like you gotta hire, like don't hire the first people.
Yep.
Don't ever
I
hire
love
like
that. Yep.
if me and you plan on doing something and like I go ahead and do it and then I come back and hire you, no, not gonna
Yep.
work. It's not
Yep.
gonna work. That
Now, we can't close without talking about fatherhood. You are the proud father of 11 kids. I know many of them, if not all of them, and they're all doing fantastic things. But more importantly, I think when people hear that number and they think to themselves, if I was just a stay-at-home dad, I'd probably have my hands full with 11 kids. But you're a serial entrepreneur. You got a lot going on, not just being a father. But tell me a little bit about how you show up as a dad and a business owner.
just I mean the whole thing, like I said, like I was talking about earlier about like, doing this because like I kind of didn't have any other options. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty much telling me I did not have any other options. So with my kids, it's kind of just like, I mean, I did it pretty much for them. You know what I'm saying? Like I know I did it for obviously for myself.
We can't close this out without talking about fatherhood. Now, you are the proud dad of 11 kids and you support your kids across sports, education, and entrepreneurship. So talk a little bit about how you show up as a dad and a business owner.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, from the beginning, it was all about, making myself like a success for my kids pretty much. Like I want to make sure like I was able to provide for them. I was wilding for, those years when I kept having them, having them. So it wasn't their fault, you know what I'm saying? And they shouldn't have to be like, they shouldn't have to pay for that. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
shouldn't have to live
Yeah.
in whatever, depend on just
Yeah.
their mom for take care of everything for them. And also because like my dad is like the greatest. Like he's the
Yeah.
best dad. Worked 2, 3, 4 jobs. Like he did everything as far as like taking jobs at
Providing.
rec center just so he can like work with me. You know what I'm saying? He rented he started this whole basketball league, you know what I'm saying, in Victorville, California, just so he could coach me, you know what I'm saying, and have me play against like college kids and
Yeah.
ex pros, and you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like he just did everything he possibly could to kind of make sure that like I was happy
Good.
pretty much. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Me and my little sisters. So the same exact thing for them. Like my dad didn't have like that. He gave me such a great example, you know what I'm saying, with to follow.
Yeah.
Like we had vacations all the time. My cousins like, man, ain't never had no damn vacation. We was in
Yeah.
Arkansas. We was in
Yeah.
St. Louis. We was in everywhere, Arizona was everywhere, you know. So I had seen that. So I knew like as far as like what I had to do, So like right now, I'm probably not that good of a dad because like, my kids are in college now or grown now. And then my little ones, like, I'm at work pretty much. I'm at work every single day, pretty much. I mean, I know I'm in Germany now, but
Yeah,
usually
but
I'm
you're
at work.
doing a lot of supporting them too. I wouldn't say you're not a good dad right now. You
No.
are in the middle
I
of it, and that's the whole point of it, right?
exactly. Yeah. But like by my standards or by
Yeah,
your standards,
by
you know what I'm
your
saying? Like,
exactly being
yeah,
there and
my
being
standards, like,
engaged.
I'm not
And
there
I
all the
think
time.
you know what? That's a great point. I want to give you your flowers for right now in this interview because a lot of people will make this assumption and often do when they hear of a man who has multiple kids, especially by different women, that there's no way that he's spending time with those kids. And I want the audience to know something real special about Kam. I first met him at a football game that both of our kids were participating in, and I thought that he at that point was leading a youth group because he had so many kids with him on the sideline. And amazingly, which a lot of people don't realize, is to me something that should be lauded and applauded, is he has a great relationship with most, if not all, of the mothers of his kids. So this is not one of those classically toxic ghetto situations where he's only dealing with one or two of 11. He's there in all of these kids' lives. And that is something that I think should be commended. You should be complimented for, because everybody's got a choice in fatherhood and whether to stay active or not. And you've made a conscious decision to be an active part of your kids' life, and by extension, their mothers' lives, for the foreseeable future, as long as you're going to be on this earth. And so I really think that should be applauded. It should be appreciated. And to your point, it's hard to balance both. But I think that advice to some of our founders who have kids at various stages, because you've got, under 10, and you've got collegiate age, and you've got graduate parent age. So it is a lot, but I know you do a great job of balancing it. Look, man, I so appreciate you coming on for this first conversation. I can't wait to do this again. As I talked about early in the interview, we definitely got to figure out what the right segment is, but we've got to have you on multiple times to share your perspective, give us some new fresh looks at what might be hot and popping out there. Before we go, though, I would be remiss if I didn't recognize that you are actually not in Phoenix right now. So tell the audience just a little bit about where you're taking this interview from, and kind of what the latest and greatest is on your front.
I'm in Germany right now. So like with my,
Nice.
I'm probably like every month, you know what I'm saying? So like it's just a different vibe, just a different way of life. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm over the whole Arizona thing, you know what I'm saying? So but my kids are there, my grandkids are there.
And you become quite fond of Europe. Tell the audience a little bit. I mean, you've made several trips over the last couple of years. You took the family to, I believe, Paris, and a couple of places last year. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so like that, like I would say like going back to my dad, you know what I'm saying? He took us on vacation to the place. So like to be able to take my kids to like Jamaica, took them to Amsterdam, Paris, you know what I'm saying, like that. It's a beautiful thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so for all y'all parents that have always complained about, man, it's so hard to travel with kids. I got 3 kids,
10.
man, and it's crazy to travel with kids. He took 10. 10.
I took my adult kids, I took my 2 nephews, and then 2 of my kids' friends went. So
what a blessing.
Yeah, it was 11 of us things, man. So and we all had a great time. And like it was good exposing them to like Amsterdam. Obviously, they had a good time in Amsterdam. And then in Paris, because we just happened to be in Paris during Fashion Week. So my kids, they got to experience Paris in a way that,
so the legacy continues. As you guys know, Kam's probably one of my most stylish friends. Now he is embedding this in the next generation of Price kids. This is going to be pretty phenomenal to watch this whole thing unfold.
Yeah, and then my son who went with it, he just had his son. So it's kind of like now it's like little things that he's doing already with his son. Like he doesn't know like why he's doing that, but it's because of my dad.
All of the things that you implanted.
Exactly. So like that's kind of how it all goes down. And I like the fact that you get different viewpoints and see how other people live. So then like when especially when you get older, you know how it is. Like you eventually want to get to a point where you're like, this is how I'm gonna live. Like I lived 45 years, this kind of wild, crazy, or something like that. Now I kind of want like slower, like by my just with my
more consistent, more predictable,
right? Like just community, like just my little community of people. That's all I want to be around. I don't around nobody else. Yeah. So like Europe kind of gives you like that because it's like there's so many different communities here, and everyone, it seems like, not scared of each other, but everyone seems to be like, all right, I'm gonna stick with mine. I'm sticking with mine. You know, it's just like that, and it's just like, but it's also like I don't see the hating. I mean, I guess in politics you do, but everyday people, I don't see them hating on these Jews or hating on these blacks or hating these, Africans a little bit, but I've seen a little bit, not a lot. So I kind of like it's just cooler. I like the climate too. I like it cold. I like, different seasons. I'm not 120 degrees is crazy.
Yeah, it is. It has its moments. I tell people all the time from my time in Arizona and I'm headed back that one of the things I've always loved about it is there's very few cloudy days. So if you're a person who doesn't like dreary weather, doesn't like overcast skies, it can be a great place to live. But conversely, blue skies and sun 355 out of 360 days a year can also start to grind on you as well. Look, man, this has been real. I so appreciate all of the advice and all of the dope insights that you dropped on the podcast today. But before we go, I'd be remiss without making sure that you share your important contact information and socials so people can go out and support your brands and check out Hesperia. I know you guys are on the move to a new location. So why don't you share a little bit of information about that?
Yeah, so we're the website is called it's www.gethesperia.com. All our IGs and TikTok is at Get Hesperia. Yeah, so and that's where you find us. We're moving. We were at Biltmore Mall down in Scottsdale. We actually moved to our own space, which is a huge thing, which is, ownership is where we should all be starting from. You know what I'm saying? Owning our buildings, owning our property, owning our community, owning everything. You know what I'm saying? And then like frequent each other's establishment, to help.
And so for Phoenix residents, give them the address again of your new store.
2919 East McDowell Road. And it's like
East McDowell Road, y'all. Is going down Phoenix. Yeah. I know a lot of people have travel plans. For those of you in the Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity who are visiting the city for the national convention this July, make sure you head by Hesperia to get all of your official get right gear while you are in the city enjoying the festivities. And again, we will have the social media links and Kam's website on our profile page for this interview. So if you want to follow up, reach out to him directly, support the brand, go out and buy some of the dope items that he has for sale. We definitely want you to support. And remember, one of the things that I really, really enjoy about this interview and about what Kam represents is this power of and passion of your focus and your desire to really make things work, even if you don't have all of the formal educational background and et cetera. And if you're building a brand, you're trying to figure out your next pivot or your next path or your next move, let this story today, this conversation, be your motivation. So again, you don't need permission to build greatness. You just need to go out and do it. And Kam is definitely an example of that tenfold. So be sure to share, like, and subscribe to the Brand Blueprint podcast. If you don't, we tend to think you might be a hater. You don't want to be a hater. So at least like, share and reply to some of our content. And the next time, you might, right? They just might be haters, right? So let's get out there, check out this interview, enjoy the content, share with friends, like us, and we'll see you the next time on the Brand Blueprint podcast. Thanks, everybody.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Thanks for joining us on the Brand Blueprint journey. Make sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms to stay updated. Watch the full episodes on our YouTube channel for an in-depth experience. Don't forget to subscribe to our website at thebrandblueprint.biz for exclusive content and materials. We're everywhere you need us to be.